Thanks for tuning in today. I'm going to continue wrenching on this Element Enduro Sendero with the Titan chassis kit. We just got a couple of things left. Looks like a little bit of steering. We need to be able to mount our servos in there. Got a new drag link. Got some sort of, I don't know, some crossbar that I probably don't need because I'm using other parts. And our Panhard mount. Ooh, where does this Panhard mount go? I am interested. We'll figure it all out. Follow along as I figure out this thing without instructions, even though they have them out there. So I prepared a little bit more for today's wrenching. Oh, this is a really sweet Panhard mount, by the way. Well machined, very well machined. Shiny. What was I talking about? Oh, I was just talking about wrenching, I guess. Just talking about wrenching. So what we're working on today, like I said, I'm more prepared today. Although in truth, I probably don't have a bunch of big screws to put in, so it's not a big deal. I need to put in my servo, purple servo. That sounds like a good idea. And let's see, we're probably going to have this mounted forwards. It's probably going to be like so, if I remember correctly. Oh, no, we got our wire relief. Oh, which way is it? That way forwards? It's tight. You know, that's the issue with these shorter servos sometimes, is that your little grommet coming out of the case is actually kind of in the way of getting these in. So you need to finagle it just a little bit. Sometimes people will shave a little bit off the edge of the case right there. I'm going to try to not damage those wires and just slide it in. This is an issue that you have had. Let me know in the comments. I guess the question will be, which way is going to be the best? Is there one way or another that's a little bit easier? I don't think so. So we're gonna try to force it. That's never a good idea, trying to force it, but I'm gonna try anyway. Let's see if we can smash those wires down. I do notice they've got a little cutout right there, and that should give us just enough. Come on, we're so close. It's so close. I may have to modify this, or I may have to use a bigger servo, which I don't really want to tell you the truth. I want to use this purple servo, guys. It looks neat, and you can't just like put it in and turn it sideways. No. I guess I could just mount it on the top and use a servo horn with more offset or something like that. So for the time being, I am gonna move on. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna bolt this into the frame. I'll probably have to unbolt it later. I already have my shocks bolted in, and I can already see right now that I'll have to unbolt those to get to some other sections of it. So let's see here. This way, probably that way. I'm just gonna not follow instructions. This seems to be a pattern where I like to put things together the hardest way possible. And I'm pretty sure that there are some spacers that I should be using in here. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna bolt this guy together. I'm gonna force these frame rails together. It actually will make it stiffer, and it'll give me more clearance. We were just singing No One's Like Gaston before we started filming, so now it's stuck in my head. No one's tight like Gaston. No one fights like Gaston. That's gonna be in my head for a while. We can make up our own song. What's the next line? It doesn't have to be a real one. What's the next line? Put them in the comments. No one does anything or is bright like Gaston. He's especially good at numerating. I'm not sure what numerating is. Is that what it actually said? It seems like they said something else in the actual movie. He's especially good at numerating. Oh, I see why they've got 2 on that. Yeah. At any rate, back on topic of me not following instructions. So, so there's these little spacers that they include with the kit, and I'm pretty sure that they have it shown to space this out a little bit so it's not, you know, cramming you down so much. But again, whatever, I'm not worried about it. I'll take this thing apart and put it back together a few more times. So now we have our Panhard mount. It looks like Panhard mount goes to the outside of the frame, I believe. You know, this is where I should probably actually look at instructions, but I'm not. And we're gonna bolt that on. So I'm gonna unbolt this side of our servo mount, and then we need slightly longer screws because we're going through this and the mount and the frame. No, those would actually work. That's gonna work just fine. So we'll get 2 of the same size bolts. Pardon me. Anybody else despise instructions as much as me? I mean, it's not, I don't really hate them or anything, but it's a lot more fun, in my opinion, to just kind of figure it out. And if I get stuck on something, there's really no wrong way to build anyway. But if I get stuck on something, then yeah, sure, I'll get some help. But I find that forgetting to put Loctite on all these is the best way to make sure that I wrench more, because it's going to get loose. So, all right, this is going to be our servo mount right there. That is our Panhard. The question is, the stock Panhard, is that the right length, or do we need to build up this? Is this the Panhard, or was that the steering link? I'm going to compare it. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to compare it right here. Right here. All right, so it is quite a bit shorter than our Panhard, and it is slightly longer than our steering. So that would leave me to believe that this is probably a replacement for the steering and not the Panhard. So I am going to line up the Panhard. We're going to bolt it in, and we're going to see how that works. It looks like it lines up pretty dang well. Yeah, we'll just go with it. We'll go with it. All right, we need some screws. We need some threads showing. I want more than those. So we're just gonna find the random screw that is the proper length or proper enough of a length and bolt it in. So for point of reference, when you are threading a screw into something, whatever the diameter is of your screw, you want that much thread engagement. So on a 3mm screw, you want 3mm engaged, you know, kind of a square section on that. If you can't get that, then you want to have at least 3 threads engaged. That's the other standard that we go by as machinists. I say we as machinists, but that is how things are designed, essentially, is that, let's see, am I missing? Oh, I see why my washers are wrong. I used the wrong washers. That's why they're wrong. I'm gonna go backwards and swap those out and pretend that I meant to do that. But so when you're putting a kit together like this, if you really don't have instructions, or if you ignore them like me, then you want to make sure that you have enough thread engagement is what I'm trying to get at here. And even like looking at this, so this little bolt that we've got, it's going through the bigger washer. And if I look at it, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 threads exposed. That's enough, honestly. And on these little bitty nuts, it would be. On these little bitty nuts, they really don't have that many threads anyway, so they usually have like 3 threads. Surprise, surprise. There we go. There we go. Just making sure, get this done wrap. Yep, there we go. So, yeah, do with that what you will. Do with that information what you will. But that's how I operate. Is that I always want to make sure that we have at least 3 threads, or ideally the same depth as the diameter of our screw. There we go. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just finding the right ones. Just finding the right ones that are long enough. So, have you been counting how many times have I taken it apart and putting it back together? Putting it? I have been in Missouri long enough, I believe. Been putting it back together. So I do wonder, for stiffness reasons, here in the back, I do wonder if that's what this crossbar is, this black crossbar. And looking like that is correct, because it's right there. They've also got this cross hole in it, and a cross hole usually means that you're going to be tightening it with what am I trying to say here? You're going to be tightening it. How about that? We're going to stick with that as my statement. That's my statement. We're going to be tightening this thing. But you can put a wrench in crossways, and yeah, I bet you that's what that's. It's got to be. That's what got to be what it's for. Again, there's no wrong way of doing any of this, but we do need some stiffness in this part of the frame, or else your shocks are kind of going to do like this, and it's going to affect your articulation. And on a small rig like this, an 1/8 inch of deflection actually does make quite a bit of difference in performance, especially if you are looking to have something that is comp ready, comp specific. And I would want to see a couple more threads of engagement, but I don't believe we have longer screws available, so it'll be fine though. 3 threads. We got 3 threads. Tree threads. All right. It looks like I did not tighten up these, so let's do that while we're here. May as well. I was wondering if my triangulation was off. It was not. Here we go. We're like, oh yeah, we're like halfway done. We are getting there. All right, we got triangulation. Ooh, Element shocks. I gotta say, out of the box, Element shocks are so smooth. So incredibly smooth. Oh yeah, even without my electronics on here, it's pretty much articulating all the way. We're about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch shy on that side, 1/4 inch, and then it looks like it's pretty much getting full articulation on that side. That's nice to know. If we added a little bit of weight to the wheels, that would kind of force full articulation, but this tells me that TGH didn't screw up the geometry. Hey, that's a good start. You didn't screw up the suspension geometry. I didn't think that they were, but just as a point of reference, oh, it's so smooth. I could just spend the rest of the video doing this. I didn't get the front end right or something. Maybe this is meant for shorter shocks. At some point, I'm going to have to like look up what I'm doing here. So yeah, there's that. But right now, yeah, our Panhard mount is hitting our shock up front, and I'm getting a little bit of axle swing with it. And I would guess that more than likely TGH did a better job at doing it, and I just didn't do a good job at putting it together. So I'm going to move this Panhard forward one, and probably need to add one of these spacers underneath it. But it is nice that they have choices here. Everybody got choices. There we go. I like that better. Now, let's see. It is still kind of over to the side. So I'll deal with that later. I'll look up their video, because the suspension geometry is one thing that you really don't want to get wrong. And if I make too many assumptions about this, I'm just going to cause myself problems down the road. So I don't want to do that. No, sir. No, sir, don't like it. We've also got one large spacer, and that large spacer may be needed so that our steering arm doesn't hit our Panhard. That's going to be my guess on there. So, yeah, no biggie. We're getting close. We're getting close here, though. This is looking like a rig. Now I need to mount some sliders. If that's where I want to put my electronics, then that's where I would mount them. But to tell you the truth, using a small ESC, I could probably shove it down in here. Let's see. I've got a small ESC right here. Let's see. This is a V1 silencer. The Silencer Mini, aka the Crawlmaster V1. And oh wow, this thing is so thin it fits underneath the motor, which I wouldn't be too hot about putting something underneath the motor like that, because your rotating magnetic field is actually going to cause heat inside. Like if you've got a copper plane, which this is nothing but copper planes, and then you have a rotating magnetic field, you're actually going to induce currents into your device being next to it. So just as a word of caution, don't put your ESC really, really close to your motor. Especially this, like a non-shielded style, it's just not good practice. So I could probably do just a teeny little spacer, mount this right next to it, although more than likely I'm going to go with a Crawlmaster V2 because it does have a built-in BEC. Let's see. Oh, that'll still fit. There's still plenty of room. That'll still fit there. So if I don't end up going with slider mounts, then there's plenty of room to do that. Good to know. So now I guess I need to maybe slightly modify this thingamabob, this yes, this thingamabob, this servo mount here. Woo, words. I got to modify that just a little bit so I can slide this low profile motor in, but boy, does that look good. I mean, there is a chance that I could get away with it. Yeah. All right. I got to do a little bit of research, guys. I'm going to have to like see what they recommend on putting this all together, just so I don't have to take it apart and put it back together too many times. I don't want to waste time, even if I don't want to read an instruction booklet. So yeah, we're going to stop there so that I can more than likely take this to the shop and do some modifying to it, and then we'll come back and put her together. So cool. Thanks for tuning in. If you got any questions about this build in particular, either watch me stumble through it or put your questions down below and I'll do my best to help out. As always, thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.